there. Welcome to our Halloween rock painting party. I want to show you some of these rocks I have here. They're all pretty much similar. And of course you can draw anything you want on it. Got a little haunted house on that one, and some bats and a couple trees. We've got one that's not quite so Halloween-y. It's more fall. It's got some kitty cats playing around on a fence and in the moonlight. And here we've got a kitty and a mouse hanging in the tree, just enjoying the evening. And of course, if you add just a few different colors, you end up with something a little bit more Halloween. Anyway, we're going to get started. So, let me go over what we're going to need. Okay, first, let me move this out of the way. Actually, I'll put that right here. First, we need a rock. We're going to base coat that white. One coat only. And so let's get started with that. Actually, I'm doing antique white. I'm doing apple barrel and antique white. And it's product number 21460E. So I'm going to pour some of that out on our plate. This is just basically so that we don't have to put so much paint on to cover the rock. And normally I do about 2 base coats, but this time I'm only going to do 1 because we're going to be putting some different yellows and oranges over that, so it'll cover pretty good. So I just wet my brush, dip it in the paint, dab it off a little bit, and I'm only doing the top of the rock for this video. In fact, I only do the top of the rock for a lot of my rocks. That way it gives me room to write on the bottom and put my labels. I do have it labeled for my my rock groups, and I like to hide them and do the whole paint, hide, find, and post rocks that either I find or I paint for other people to find through the kindness program, movement, or project, whatever you call it. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of smooth it out. Did my sides first. I'm going to do the top. Now it's all done. We'll be back as soon as that's dry, and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so our rock is pretty dry, and now we're going to add a variety of colors. I'm going to put them out on the palette, and I'll tell you what I'm using as I'm doing that. Here we have bright yellow, apple barrel. Product number 20513E as in eggs. Okay, then I'm going to put out a little bit of a golden sunset, which is apple barrel 21188. I'm sorry, 2186E as in egg. And the last one we have is apricot, also by apple barrel, and it's product number 20764E. Anyhow, this is what I call, sometimes instead of doing a base coat with white, which is what most everybody uses, at times I do what's called a sunset base coat. That way, instead of having to do 2 coats and then put color or leave it white, I can have my color right away, and it doesn't matter if it shows through a little bit, and I'll show you a sample of that right now. This would be like my sample of a sunset rock. It's where I have those four colors sort of mixed. And I just do, you know, half the rock. But now it's ready for anything. And because it's got some mixed colors on there, I don't have to do two coats. And the sunset's really good if you're going to do a silhouette. Like even these are considered silhouette rocks. You know, but you can do so much with them. Anyway, that's for another video. But okay, so we're going to take our rock, and I suggest taking, well, depending on the size of your rock, you want to use a squared off brush. Do you see that? Squared off brush. Okay, so you can dip one corner. It's called side loading. But we're going to double load it. We're going to put some of the antique white on one side, and then we're going to do some yellow on the other corner. So you see how that is? One color on each side. And we're going to start on the very edge of the rock. And we're just going to get the white on the first part. And you can go back and forth like this, but you don't want to turn your brush, because if you do, and sometimes I'd get tempted to do that, you mix your colors up. So just go back and forth like this. So you get your antique white and your yellow. Okay, and then now I'm going to go, and where my yellow was, I'm going to put the apricot, and I'm going to put the sunset. So now the orange is going to go, or the apricot's going to go right up against the yellow, like so. And if it's too dry and not blending very well, I have a dab of water. Well, I did have a dab of water. You can get a dab of water on your plate. If the color gets too mixed up on your brush, you can just add a little water. Sometimes I bring it down and then wet my brush and clean it off. Then I'll come back in my new colors, and I'll put another stripe on there. Now we're starting to see some color get on there. Now I'm just gonna, you know, you can keep adding some white wherever you want it. You can add some yellow. Basically, you're just going to take strips of color and put it across until you get something that you like, and that the rock is covered. So it may have more orange in it, may have more yellow in it, just depends on the person who does it and how much time you spend blending. Anyway, I think we'll do a little bit more yellow-orange here since we're doing a Halloween rock. Our background color. Okay, so I didn't spend too much time blending it, and it's not perfect, but like I said, you can add colors anywhere you want. Like if you want to add a little bit more yellow, a little more orange, and then make sure you get your sides really well too, because once you're finished, you won't be coming back with these colors again. That way you cover your white base coat. Okay, so we're all finished. Let's let that dry. Okay, I guess it's pretty dry. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a painter's marker. Now this one, the wrapper fell off, but it's a painter's marker. Just like the wrapper looks like this, one down here. That's just a different color. And this one is a medium tip. And it's, oh, hold on, here. Can't get the lid off. And it's a medium tip. And it's used mostly for coloring in large areas. And we're going to go ahead and put our moon on there. Now you can put a moon small here in the corner if you want. I like to put it right straight in the middle pretty much. And I like to go around. You can color it all the way in, or you can just do a spiral. I kind of like the spiral because it makes it look a little bit more Halloween, kind of, you know, Tim Burton-ish. Anyhow, and you could go over and over it again if you want to make it brighter or larger or whatever. Anyway, I just kind of go around and around. There's no exact science to that. It's pretty easy. We'll let that dry now for a second and we'll come back and we'll do our silhouettes. Okay, so our moon is dry. And like I said, you know, you can do it however you want, as big or small, right in the middle or over, you know, in the corner here or here, whatever you like. It's just that I'm going to be putting some trees around here and maybe a fence or something down here, and then our target right here in the middle. So I'm trying to leave some space around for me to work with other things. Anyway, now we're going to take our black Sharpie. It's the one with the fine and ultra fine tip. As I said in a previous video, the fine tip, you have to make sure your rock is completely dried to work with that one. Sometimes if you have too much paint on there and it's not dry, what will happen is you just dig up your paint with it and then ruin your marker. And here's the larger side, which we're going to work with today. Okay, so let's get started. I got to move a few things here. Got to move some paints out of my way and some brushes. Okay, so I'm going to look and see where I want the bottom of my rock to be. Do I want it to be this the bottom, or do I want to turn it this way? I think because there's a little indentation here, I'm going to use that as the ground. Or maybe. No, maybe not. Okay, I'm going to have the indentation on top in this flat smooth area I'm going to use here to put my fence line. And I think we're going to just do something kind of quick and easy. Probably just do a cat in a tree with a fence. So now I'll take and make a fence line just by making marks on the rock, getting smaller as it gets to the edge of the rock. Okay, and then I'm going to actually put a top on those fences and make it kind of skinny at the bottom. And you can leave them like that. You can color them in solid. What I like to do, what makes it kind of look more spooky, is I just put some black lines in there. I don't really color it, I just kind of scribble into there. See the difference that makes? Okay, so I'll scribble in all my fences. Kind of hard to show it in the camera and do it at the same time. But you can just put some lines in there, just put some lines in there. It just kind of makes it look like an old rickety black fence. Okay, then I'm going to start here and I'm going to put my split rails on there and do the same thing. And you can make some go kind of straight and jaggedy and make them kind of look like a broken down old fence. You get the idea. Okay, so let me just take this where I can see it a little better. Okay, so now we have our fence line. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start a tree on one side or the other. You can do a tree that kind of comes over the top of the rock. You can do them, you know, kind of straight up or however you want, but I kind of start on a fence line here, right to the side, and I bring my tree up there. I start out skinny, or, you know, a little wider at the bottom, getting skinnier at the top, until I decide which way the tree is going to go, how big the tree is going to be, and all that. And then I'll just kind of swipe over a line. And that's going to be my guide. So now I can make that branch a little bit thicker. And then let it get skinnier as it goes out across the moon. Like that. Okay, and then I need a branch for my kitty to sit on, so I'm going to bring a branch kind of out like this and bring it across this way. And maybe at the end of it I'll put, you know, some branches coming off of it. Like so. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to work on some branches here, and we'll be right back. But you can put as many, I put 2 or 3 branches usually, and I just kind of bring it down into the main trunk, and you can make it a little wider at the bottom, and make it disappear into your fence line. Okay, so I put a few more branches on. I'm trying to leave space for my kitty. You have to be careful in that area where you're going to put your little object picture, whatever you're going to put, cat, mouse, 2 lovebirds, whatever you want to put. A crow, pair of crows. Anyway, so I put a few more branches in, and we're going to add, you know, just a few more here. And let's see, about right here, I think. Okay, so now we're going to add the cat. I'm going to do a kitty. And if you don't leave enough room, you end up with a short, fat kitty instead of a tall, sleek-looking kitty. So just make sure before you put your branches in, you know, maybe even want to do the kitty first. I always seem to do the branches first, and that's just how I do it, but you can do it whatever way you want. Okay, I'm going to put the rock down here for this so I can have the rock steady. And this is how I do my cat. I just start out with like a little V upside down, and I just make a V to put them together here, and just little, just to make the head. Then I put the body kind of coming down like a vase, like a skinny vase sort of. And maybe I'll put a little bump on each side so it looks like he's sitting down. Then I'll grab it and put his tail here, and I'll usually make the tail a little thicker. And there we have our kitty silhouette. And our fence, and our moon, and our trees. So now all we need is a little bit of grass at the bottom of the rock. It's looking a little bare there, so we'll probably just put some grass blades in, meeting the bottom of the fence line. And for that, I usually just kind of do this. I'll just roll my rock around in my hand and just add some grass. Might make some longer. And then kind of back and forth like that. And there you have it. We've got grass. And we got a fence. And we have a moon. And we have a kitty. Oh, forgot the most important thing. The kitty has to have some whiskers. So I think our rock is dry enough that we can use the fine point end, the ultra fine, at the other end of the Sharpie. But you have to be very careful, and I would suggest taking a scratch piece of paper. Get your pen going first, make sure it's going good, and go around in a circle, then start on your rock. You might even want to try a couple practice whiskers to see how your pen's doing here. Okay. Okay, so we have whiskers. Can you see the whiskers? Yeah, they're pretty small. It makes them look very delicate. Anyway, well, we're going to come back in just a minute after that's dry, because when you use Sharpie, you want to make sure it's completely dry before you use your Mod Podge to put on your sealer. And again, if you're going to be hiding these outdoors or putting them in your garden or anything like that where they're going to be out in the weather a lot, you might want to use the green label weatherproof, waterproof Mod Podge. Anyway, we'll be right back. Okay, now our rock is ready for sealing. We're going to put some Mod Podge on it, and these are actually all being donated afterwards to another rock group, and they're going to do a kids hunt for them, so they won't be staying outdoors for long. So I'm just going to use the regular Mod Podge. We're going to get a liberal amount on our brush, and we're not going to really brush hard. We're just going to run it around the sides, almost like you're just dragging your brush. You know, you can get the little, straighten out the little pools of it if it gets too thick. We just want a thin coat on it right now, because we're going to follow up with glitter. And this glitter also has a sealer in it. So this is going to be extra protection and make it shine a little more. And so we're going to just go around the bottom of the rock, around the base of the rock all the way around. And then we'll come back and fill in the center. And this also helps dragging the brush like this to not smear. A lot of people have trouble smearing the Sharpie marker. So this is a good way to seal it. You've got to be very gently. Don't rub the rock with your brush. Just pull it back. It doesn't matter if we have a few little lines in there, because when it dries, it's going to dry clear. A little bit more. If it's too hard, it means you need more on your brush. Keep it gliding on there. Okay. So we'll let that dry, and we'll come back and put our glitter on, our iridescent glitter from Sargent Art. Hi there, we're back. We're ready to put on our glitter. But first we have a couple friends stopped by, and this is Edgar, and he just wanted to say hi. Okay, so to give it some sparkle, we're going to add some Sargent Art acrylic glitter glaze. It's a permanent finish, water reducible, non-yellowing, clean with soap and water before drying, and it dries clear. I use it on everything. This is probably one of my very favorite things that I've added to my collection for rock painting. But you can use it on all sorts of things. They use it for scrapbooking and other things as well. Now I'm just going to go all around the outside of the moon. Kind of go in a circle, and it's okay if you have it gobbed on there a little bit. Just give it a little extra shine and glitter. And our rock is almost finished. And like I said, if you want a variation of this, like I did on some of the other rocks that you see here, you want to put a little purple in the middle on top of your moon, you can do that, and the moon will show through. Or you can put your glitter just on the moon and not on the rest of the rock, or put that on the entire rock. Anyway, it's all up to you what you decide you want to do. But our rock is finished, and we'll show it to you when it dries. Okay, so here's our finished rock. I'm going to hold it up a little bit, move it around so you can see some of the sparkle. It's just an iridescent shimmer kind of all over the place. You can put more or a second coat if you like. Anyway, so there's our finished project. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a happy Halloween and a safe Halloween. And please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.